Hello students, welcome to Trunkie Academy, and today we will today we will study about a new topic. We are studying about the human reproduction, and with this we have already studied about the spermatogenesis and how the gametogenesis takes place and how fertilization takes place, and how the sperm fertilize the egg, and what are the different parts of the sperm that plays an important role in the movement and mortality of the sperm, and how after fertilization zygote is formed, and after formation of zygote how morula is formed, and how blastula and blastula is formed. Okay, now coming to the another point, another part in the next section, that is the placenta formation. And this placenta is important because this is the structure which connect the growing fetus to the mother body of the mother. Okay, so formation of placenta and its role is very important. Okay, first, the placenta consists of two essential portions. They are maternal part and fetal part. Okay, so that means the tissue, okay, which has connecting the fetus and the mother, has got two parts. One is the maternal part and another is the fetal part. That means part from the fetus. Okay, growing and developing fetus. Okay. Maternal part means the placenta derived from the endometrium. Yes, this is the important point. Endometrium, uterine wall, where the placenta is formed. Okay, where the growing embryo and the fetus is implanted. Okay, which is also called the birth canal. Where the womb. Sorry, not womb. Where the fetus is growing. Okay, that uterus. That uterine wall, the maternal part of the placenta, is derived from the endometrium of the uterus. A fetal part of the placenta is derived from the fetal membranes. Okay, so these are the two parts, essential parts of the placenta. Now, as you can see, the placenta has two parts: maternal components and fetal components. Okay, again, this maternal components, if you observe, okay, and study, then you will find the three different tissues. Layers of tissues, that is a uterine epithelium, uterine connective tissue, and uterine capillary endothelium, which is supplied with the blood. Okay, in case of the fetal component or fetal layer of the part of the placenta, that has got again three tissues: a fetal capillary endothelium, a fetal connective tissue, and fetal chorionic epithelium. Okay, so almost similar in both the sides, but it has a different image, because the whatever the fetal components are from fetus part, from fetus side, and the maternal components are from the uterine side of the mother only. Okay, so these are two components where we find in the placenta. Okay, and all these in both the cases, these two components are made of the three types of tissues. Okay, now formation of placenta, how it forms first. Once the fertilization has taken place, okay, once the sperm has entered into the egg cell, fertilization has taken place, nucleus is fused, this moves, and the movement takes place, and the rapid cell division takes place. The embryo is developed, and there is the implantation. Okay, and after implant, there is the formation of placenta. The inner region of chorionic villi develops a network of capillaries of the umbilical artery and umbilical vein. So you try to understand. Okay, there is a finger-like projections is fine. Okay, and this will form a network of capillaries of the umbilical artery and umbilical veins. So here you can see the chorionic villi. Okay, maternal blood vessels. Okay, and you can see the fetus. Okay, here you can uterine wall and umbilical cord. So that venous-like structure, they are forming the network of umbilical artery and umbilical vein network. Okay, umbilical blood vessels. And then connecting to the fetus. These vessels runs in the tough umbilical cord. Okay, so there is a cord-like structure, okay, in which this blood vessels run. So that within that umbilical cord is actually the blood vessels, because whatever the respiration or the gaseous exchange that takes place, or the nutrients, this takes place through these this structure, this blood vessels. Okay, this placenta. Now Placenta of human is called chorioallantoid placenta, as allantois also fuses with the chorion. So there are three different layers, no? Chorion, allantois, so this allantois and chorion fuses in the process of vascularization, forming these blood vessels and the capillaries and forming the cord. So this is the structure within the umbilical cord. So it is called chorioallantoid placenta. Placenta is described as the hemochorial, as the maternal blood comes into direct with the membrane of the fetal chorionic villi. So it is a hemochorial because the blood which is from the mother, it directly comes in contact with the membrane of the fetal chorionic villi. So from there, so fetal chorionic villi, the blood which is there in the fetal chorionic villi, and the blood from the mother has come, hemochorial, okay, that come to the villi. So there is the exchange of substances takes place, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nutrients. Okay, so that way it works. And if you see that picture, the umbilical arteries. This one is the umbilical arteries. This one is the umbilical artery. This one. This one. Okay, and this is the enlarged view. You can see the chorionic villi. This is the chorionic villi, and the placenta. This is the whole structure, the placenta. Okay, and so this is the structure that's connecting. So if this portion, if we unlayer and it is shown here, this the round circular portion here we observe here, you'll find this chorionic villi. Okay, so from the fetus, it is the umbilical cord, then going to the umbilical arteries are there within that umbilical cord, going to the maternal portion, that is the placenta, where we find the chorionic villi. Okay, the chorionic villi is there and is in contact with the fetal chorionic villi. Now after this is the pregnancy. Pregnancy is the period of intrauterine development of embryo or fetus in the woman's uterus, in the womb of the mother. Once the zygote has formed and it is moving to the forming the morula, the blast cleavage is taking place, blastula is forming. So what happens after that, when it is implanted and the embryo and the fetus is growing and developing in the uterus or womb, that period is called actually this is the pregnancy. Okay, intrauterine development within the uterus on the womb. Okay, also called gestation period. Gestation period. Human pregnancy averages 266 days, 38 weeks from fertilization of the egg, or 40 weeks from the start of the last menstrual cycle. From there, 40 weeks from the last menstrual cycle. Okay, so it is 266 days or 38 weeks. Now, functions of placenta. Functions of placenta is very important because this is the structure which is actually supplying the nutrients or oxygen to the growing fetus. Okay, and exchange of substances takes place between mother and fetus through this placenta, from mother to fetus or fetus to mother. Okay, so this is placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo, and also to the removal of carbon dioxide and excretory material produced by the embryo. So this is the structure when the oxygen is supplied from the mother's blood to the fetus. After respiration, the carbon dioxide is produced as the waste product that must be removed from the fetus, that goes into the blood of the passes through the blood vessel that is there in the umbilical cord, and then to the mother's blood. Okay, and all that is so excretory material, nutrients, oxygen, respiratory gases. So exchange of these substances takes place through placenta. Okay, now again another point is that placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord. So basically, so what happens when the fetus is, the umbilical cord is there, when it's connecting to uterine wall, then before just connecting the uterine wall, there is a structure called the placenta. Okay, so umbilical cord helps in the transport of substances to and from the embryo. So this is connected to the special structure called placenta. Okay, so these are the layers of the tissues. Progesterone secreted by placenta is essential for the maintenance of pregnancy after 4th month. Okay, so progesterone hormone is naturally secreted by the placenta, and which maintain the pregnancy after 4 months. Okay, when the corpus luteum degenerates, When the corpus luteum degenerates, okay, it degenerated, so no new egg cell will form. Okay, progesterone hormone will secreted from the placenta, and that maintains the pregnancy. Okay, estrogen hormone is another type of hormone, mainly the estradiol of the estrogen. It will reach the maternal blood and promote the uterine growth and development of mammary gland. So all these are natural process. Okay, estrogen, mainly the estradiol, it goes to the maternal blood and promote the uterine growth of the uterine wall. Okay, and that is the layer. Development of mammary glands, development of mammary glands, and to prepare the milk, okay, for lactation. A human chorionic gonadotropin is similar in its action to luteinizing hormone that is also secreted, like the action of LH. Okay. Now, human chorionic gonadotropin sends the message of pregnancy to the master endocrine system, so that LH is secreted to maintain corpus luteum and to prevent menstruation further and further evolution. Try to understand this point. This is a very important point. Once one sperm cell or spermatozoa has fertilized, okay, and zygote is formed, cleavage has taken place, okay, embryo has formed, morula has formed, okay, then it is implanted, the fetus is growing. There should not be new egg cell formation. Okay, the ovulation should be stopped. Menstruation should be stopped for some days till the birth and after some days of the birth. Okay, till the time after birth, and also sometimes till that sometime after the birth. Okay, so this placenta is secreting human chorionic gonadotropin, okay, HCG, chorionic gonadotropin, and it gives a signal and send message to the anterior pituitary, and pituitary gland is the master gland. Okay, anterior pituitary is also called adenohypophysis. Okay, there are posterior pituitary and anterior pituitary. Okay, so it sends message to the anterior pituitary, and then in turn this part of the pituitary gland, adenohypophysis or anterior pituitary, secretes luteinizing hormone that prevents further ovulation and also prevents the menstruation and maintains the corpus luteum and thus maintains the pregnancy. It should not continue to produce, because the ovary should not continue to produce its egg or ovum, because pregnancy has taken place. Okay, now it will continue for 38 weeks. Okay, so till the time there should not be any ovulation and menstruation. Okay, gonadotropins are excreted through maternal urine. Okay, once its function is over, it is excreted through maternal urine. Their presence in urine is used as a test to detect a pregnancy in the early stages. Okay, this is how this gonadotropin, okay, is a hormone, as a chemical substance, okay, which is, after its function, it is excreted in the maternal urine. That is why some kind of pregnancy test kits are based on this gonadotropin testing mechanism. Okay, if gonadotropins are present in the urine of the mother, so it indicates that the mother is pregnant already, is conceived. Okay, their presence in the urine is used to detect the pregnancy in the early stage. Okay, so somatomembotropin is another important hormone. Is called placental lactogen, has an anti-insulin effect on mother, increases the plasma level of glucose and amino acids in the maternal circulation. Yeah, why? Because for the fetus, for the growing fetus, to supply energy. Okay, somatomembotropin, placental lactogen, also called placental lactogen, provides the energy, glucose, the molecules glucose to the and amino acid to the fetus, increase the plasma level of glucose. So plasma, this hormone placental lactogen has anti-insulin. Insulin has got effect to capture. Insulin captures the glucose molecules and convert it into glycogen. Just opposite to that, this somatotropin or placental lactogen, it breaks down the glycogen. It increases the glucose level in the plasma and amino acid level in the plasma. Okay, so that when it goes to the placenta and it goes to the umbilical and pass to the glucose, it gets, fetus will get the excess amount of glucose and amino acids. Okay, in this way it increases the availability of these materials to the fetus. Availability of these material means availability of glucose and amino acids to the growing fetus. Okay, so somatotropin or placental lactogen, point to be noted, important for exam. Now, functions of other important function of placenta is the placenta protects the fetus from the relatively high blood pressure of the maternal circulation. Okay, because blood pressure is high in the mother. Okay, so from that, okay, harmful effect of the high pressure, this placenta it prevents. Okay, and the fetal tissue gives paternal chromosomal effect, acts as a foreign structure to mother which produces antibodies. Okay, so fetal tissue having paternal chromosomal effect. Okay, fetal tissue as well acts as foreign structure because immune system of the mother will recognize as foreign structure. The immune system of the mother will recognize as the foreign structure, which is actually is the fetal tissue, and then accordingly produce the antibodies. Okay, antigenic allograft, antigen. Okay, so the fetus sustain such a rejection for about 38 to 40 weeks by producing certain immunosuppressant substances. Okay, so fetus sustains such rejection. Okay, so now another point is that the table of events during pregnancy is there. Human gestation can be divided for convenience into 3 trimester. Okay, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Okay, about 3 months each. Okay, so first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester, like this. So in first trimester and first month, what happens? The first trimester is the main period of organogenesis, development of organs. Okay, development of body organs. First month in human beings, after 1 month pregnancy, the embryo's heart is formed. Heart has to be formed in the beginning only, because it has to come and supply blood to the different parts of the fetus. Second month, fetus develops limbs and digits by the end of the second month. In third month, most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, limbs, external genital organs are well developed by the end of 12 weeks, first trimester. Okay. So by first trimester we can, by the ultrasonography, we can know the sex of the child. But this is illegal and should not be done. Okay. Although the genital is well formed organ and we can know the by ultrasonography, but there should not be any kind of try, okay, to know the sex of the child. This is not legal. This is illegal, and even it is legal also, whether it is boy or girl, it is all same. We should not differentiate like this. This is absolutely nonsense. The people, those who differentiate between boy and girls, and some people they kill in the womb of the mother. How nonsense, how cruel they are, that they kill in the womb of the mother if the child is growing fetus is the girl. Okay, this is absolutely nonsense. There should not be the action. It's completely this kind of mentality. This kind of the thought should be changed. Okay, so whether it is boy or girl, it is same. And there should be no differentiation for boys and girls. Okay, so although it can be known by knowing the ultrasonography, but there should not be any kind of differentiation, or no one should try to know what is the sex of the child in the growing fetus that is in the womb of the mother. Okay, now in the first trimester, after the first trimester, this is a picture. It looks like this. Okay, and in second trimester, the first movements of the fetus and the appearance of hair on the head are usually observed during the 5th month. Okay, by the end of the 24 weeks, second trimester, the body is covered with fine hairs. Okay, like this is the features of the mammals and in the human beings also, with fine hair. Eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed in second trimester. trimester. Okay, 24 weeks. In third trimester, by the end of the 9th month of the pregnancy, third trimester, the fetus is fully developed and is ready for delivery. Okay, when it's fully. And now the another process for the delivery, another name or the term that is given to this is the parturition. Okay, the fetus is, the baby is delivered. The childbirth begins with labor. Okay, a series of strong rhythmic uterine contraction that pushes the fetus and placenta out of the body. So automatically when the child is fully developed, okay, when child is fully developed, when fetus is fully developed, fetus is fully developed and is now ready for delivery, so there will be a kind of signal, reflex, okay, for contraction of the uterus, uterine wall, uterine contraction, and rhythmic uterine contraction that pushes the fetus and placenta out of the body. That and the labor pain starts, and the mother, although they definitely this is not a very easy for mothers to deliver the child. So that is why we should understand the importance of mother. Okay, it's not only about the delivery. After delivery, also there are so many things the mother mother is doing for the child. Okay, so this process of delivery of the fetus is called parturition. It's delivered, okay, after the labor pain, when labor pain starts, and the rhythmic contraction of the uterine wall that pushes the fully developed fetus and placenta out of the body. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. I told you there are different, for thirst, for hungry, to feel hungry, when the urinary bladder is fully filled up to urinate, okay, and all those different types of the, okay, when you are emotional, when you're trying to cry, you are crying, and the release of the tears from the lacrimal gland of the eyes, okay, all these are they controlled by the neuroendocrine or nervous system. Okay, there is the control and coordination mechanism of our body. Okay, so the signals for parturition originate from the fully developed fetus and the placenta, which induces mild uterine contraction called fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so from the fetus itself, fully developed, and the placenta, which induces mild uterine contraction called fetal. So when it is fully formed, okay, it is slightly going to contact the placenta, and placenta then induce mild uterine contraction, and that is the fetal ejection reflex. Then the labor pain starts, okay, and the uterine, and then the rhythmic contraction of the uterine wall starts, and it is pushed out of the body for delivery. Okay, this triggers release of oxytocin. When this uterine wall rhythmically contracting, this induces the release of oxytocin from the maternal pituitary gland. Okay, from the pituitary gland of the mother, oxytocin is released. Okay, as the process of delivery starts, okay, there is the release of oxytocin from the maternal pituitary gland. Okay, oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles and causes stronger uterine contraction, which in turn stimulates further secretion of oxytocin. Okay, so oxytocin is released. Okay, the contraction that induces the release of oxytocin from the pituitary gland, which in turn again causes the stronger uterine contraction, and that again causes the further secretion of oxytocin hormone. Okay, the stimulatory reflex between uterine contraction and the oxytocin secretion continues, resulting in increasing stronger contraction. So this cycle continues. It's contracting, activating the pituitary gland, secreting and releasing the oxytocin. This oxytocin again causing the stronger contraction. Again, this strong contraction is again activating the master gland, pituitary gland, for the release of oxytocin. So this continues, and stronger contraction continues, and then the fetus is pushed out of the body. Okay, this leads to expulsion of the body out of the uterus through birth canal. Okay, that is the vagina. Soon after the infant, the body's head should be toward the lower side. Then it will be easy for the delivery of the child. Okay, Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta along with the decidua is also expelled out of the uterus. Decidua, the part of that umbilical cord, okay, is also expelled out along with the child or along with the fully developed baby or the infant, okay. So fully developed fetus and placenta, fetal ejection. These two structures, fully developed fetus and along with the placenta, causes the fetal ejection reflex, and that activates the send signals, message to the pituitary gland to release oxytocin, to secrete oxytocin hormone, which in turn causes the stronger contraction, and these strong more and more strong contraction causes the expulsion of baby through the birth canal, and thus the delivery of the child takes place. Okay, so once the delivery of child takes place, the lactation is important because child should not take, so the food for the child is mother's milk. Okay, as soon as the birth of the child takes place, when it requires the food, it is the mother's milk. So lactation is another important thing which is okay. Now we'll study about that. One aspect of postnatal care unique to mammal is the lactation. Not only human beings, in other mammals also we see. Okay, it's lactation. In the ducks and the cats also we have observed. The production of mother's milk is another aspect of postnatal care. Okay, so milk is produced and accumulated. Okay, when the pregnancy starts, okay, mammary gland there is some kind of changes in the mammary gland, and that prepares for mammary gland for the milk. Okay, the hypothalamus signals the anterior pituitary. Okay, hypothalamus is just along near the pituitary gland. Okay, and this hypothalamus gives signal to the anterior pituitary to secrete prolactin, another hormone which stimulates the mammary gland to produce milk. Okay, in response to sucking by the newborn baby, as well as the changes in the estradiol levels after birth. Okay, this happens. Okay, the mammary glands of the female undergo differentiation during pregnancy and start producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy. Okay, like I told you a little while ago, during the pregnancy only, some changes takes place in the mammary gland for the preparation of milk. Okay, for lactation. Okay, and towards the end, the milk production starts. Lactation helps the mother in feeding the newborn baby. Okay, now the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is colostrum. What happens? The milk is being produced. Okay, it's accumulating. It is dense. Okay, and this contains one of the very important. This is very important for exam also. This contains one of the very important substance, or you can say component, that is the antibodies IgA in the milk of the mother, which goes to the body of the child during the feeding. Okay, so the milk which is produced and accumulated to some extent before feeding, okay, that is called colostrum. It is dense, thick colostrum, okay, and contains several antibodies. Because the newborn baby has no immune system of its own, it's not yet developed. Okay, after birth only slowly it starts developing, so it requires some immunity power, some antibodies that comes from the mother's milk. Okay, so that is the immunoglobulin A. There are 5 types of immunoglobulin. Okay, immunoglobulin D, immunoglobulin E, immunoglobulin M. Okay, so there are different factors. So immunoglobulin A is the type of immunoglobulin or antibodies that provides to immunity to the fetus, and that is present in the colostrum. Okay, the first for few days or 1 or 2 days, the milk that is there in the mother's mammary gland, that is called colostrum. This is important point, colostrum. The second is important for the exam is which antibody is present in the mother's milk. Okay, in the colostrum, IgA. Okay, and absolutely essential to protect newborn babies from initial sources of infection that will fight against the different sources, because once is exposed to outside world, okay, I mean the comes from the womb of the mother, so it may have some infections. Okay, we are exposed to several infections, and we are not having or catching up the disease, or we are protected by immune system we have, but the child has not developed yet any strong immune system or any immune system. So from outside, immunoglobulin or antibodies should be supplied. So this is a natural mechanism to protect the body, to protect the baby from the some infections when after the birth. Okay, so IgA is there in the colostrum, or the first milk that is there in the mammary gland of the mother. So breastfeeding during the initial period of infant is recommended by doctors for bringing up healthy baby. Now, not everyone knows that, because the only mother's milk is such nutritious and healthy for the child. So up to 6 months only mother's milk is recommended by the doctors. Okay, so that the body, there will be the proper growth and development of the fetus, I mean the child, proper and growth and development of the infant from 0 years, from the birth to 2 years. It's called period of infancy. Okay, and from 0 to 6 years, it is very important that mother should give or feed only only pay attention on breastfeeding only, no other things, not even water is recommended to give to the infants. Okay, up to the age of 6 months. Okay, after 6 months we can give some other things also. So these are about the lactation, and thank you for listening. Now just quickly we will see the okay, I told you about the formation of placenta. Placenta is formed by the two parts, one from the fetus, one from the maternal part. Okay, that also comprises of 3 layers of tissue, and both the parts contain, and it is the capillaries in both the side, capillary endothelium is present. In case of the mother's part of the placenta, uterine capillary endothelium is there. In case of the fetus side, fetal capillary endothelium, and this is the blood carrying structure which is helps in the exchange of substances. Placenta play a very important role in the exchange of substances for between the fetus and the mother, such as the nutrients, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. Okay, and this structure placenta is again then passes through the umbilical cord to the fetus, and this is also a kind of blood vessels. Okay, tough umbilical cord is covering that blood vessels. Placenta in humans is called chorial. Okay, and placenta is described as the hemochorial because the bloods of the mother is in direct contact with the fetal chorionic villi, where the actual exchange, the blood is in contact with the villi, and there is the place, there is the border region where the exchange of substances takes place. Okay, pregnancy is of the 38 weeks or 266 days. Okay, and intrauterine development of the embryo fetus in the it is the development within the intrauterine, and this period is also called the gestation period. Okay, and mother to the fetus, placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen, as I already told you, and then the progesterone is the hormone which maintains the pregnancy after 4 months. Because once the pregnancy has taken place, once a female has conceived, there should not be menstruation. When the corpus luteum degenerates, there should not be a new ovum or production of new ovum, or there should not be ovulation. Okay, so all these estrogen, estradiol reach the maternal blood to promote uterine growth and development of mammary gland. Okay, it prepares the mammary gland for the milk production. Okay, and human HCG is similar in action luteinizing hormone, and here is how it acts. The placenta, gives rise to the produces the or secretes the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, and which gives signals to the anterior pituitary, and which in turn secretes the luteinizing hormone to maintain corpus luteum, to prevent menstruation and to prevent further ovulation, and maintains the pregnancy. Okay, this gonadotropin hormone is, after its action, it is excreted through the urine, and this is how this is based on this. The pregnancy test kits are made, because in the urine, when the drop of urine is placed on the some kind of chemical substance is there, and with the help of that reaction, a red or pink line is formed. So to know that this gonadotropin was present in the urine, which indicates that the particular that female is all conceived and is pregnant. Okay. This point is also important for exam. I told you this somatomemotropin or plasmapherectogen increases the level of glucose level in the blood and amino acid to facilitate the availability and to increase the ability for the growing fetus. Okay, so and there are different the three trimester are there. Organ develops in the first trimester. Okay, and then in the second trimester there is the movement of fetus and appearance of hairs, and by the eyelids are separated, eyelashes are formed, and in third trimester, when it is fully formed, it is ready for delivery. Parturition is the word or term used for the delivery also, and this delivery or parturition is initiated by the fully developed fetus only. This little bit compresses or push the placenta, and which in turn generates a reflex. Okay, for them, and the signals for parturition originate from the fully developed fetus, and placenta induce the mild uterine contraction, and then the rhythmic contraction of uterine wall takes place, and this is the neuroendocrine mechanism. Nervous system plus hormonal system, neuroendocrine. Okay, and this oxytocin is released by contraction of the uterine, which in turn again causes the strong contraction of the uterine wall, and stronger contraction takes place, and which ultimately causes the pushing out of the fully developed fetus from the birth canal, and birth of the child takes place. Okay, and after expulsion of the file, then the lactation is another process which is important for feeding the newborn baby. Okay, because only food that can be given is the mother's milk. Okay, so this is all natural mechanism. So there's a kind of different hormones involved for all these different natural mechanism. Prolactin is the hormone which is secreted from the anterior pituitary after the signals it receives from the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the very important structure present near the pituitary gland. Okay, and this prolactin again in turn stimulates the mammary gland to produce milk. Okay, so colostrum is the thick and the milk during the first 1 or 2 days or in the first initial days, and which contains the antibodies IgA. Okay, so this was all about the placenta, function of placenta. Okay, pregnancy and the parturition, delivery of the child, and lactation. Okay, so tomorrow again we will meet at the same time. Okay, with another topic. Right after this class, I will send you one the daily practice paper, like we are sending. Okay, and this practice paper, you will when you go through this, your academic booster will find that there is a link called resources. When you click on that, you will find writing material on the left hand side. You click on that, you will get one daily practice problem and go through the questions, solve the questions. Okay, and send back to us the answers. Okay, we'll go through the answer, check the answers, and then we'll give you the remarks that how you have done. Okay, so thank you for joining and listening. Tomorrow again we will meet at the same time. Thank you, and bye. Till then, bye, goodbye. Thank you. Now you can leave the meeting.